The Heroes in the Hidden by Kitty Quat on EU3. Episode 36. Chapter 31. It's Never to Become. Hitoshi leaned into Izuku, who stiffened at the touch before relaxing, though only slightly. He hadn't never been jumpy ever since the heroes had brought him back to the station. It hurt Hitoshi to see. He tried to help as best as he could, tried to help Izuku feel more comfortable and safe. But he was never relaxed. Even when he slept in Recovery Girl's office, he shook his shoulders, taunt. It was Hitoshi's job, as the older one, to protect him. He needed to be stronger for Izuku. He needed to save him like a hero would. He would save him from his demons that called to him, the ones that made him want to die, to leave Hitoshi behind. He gripped Izuku's hands tighter, smiling at him. Izuku shut his eyes, humming into Hitoshi's hair. They had been watching a movie that President Mike had put on, one from the Quirkless era about the Halloween King finding Christmas Town. President Mike claimed that it was a fall classic, but it wasn't the main thing on Hitoshi's mind. He could feel Izuku's clammy hands and sweat-stained skin as he shivered. They hadn't been able to get his fever down in the 2 days that he had been back, no matter how much medicine he got. He could feel Izuku's raging breaths against his hair as he pushed deeper into Izuku's shoulder. He had heard from the adults the weight helped, calmed someone, so he tried his best to give that to Izuku, to try to calm him, save him. Hitoshi? Izuku whispers, making him jump. He still hadn't spoken, yet, since they had found him. Until now. Hitoshi sighed, lifting his hands slightly. Izuku looked at him, pulling back so Hitoshi could sit up straight. Can you use your quirk on me? He asked slowly and gently. Hitoshi stared at him in surprise. Why did he want Hitoshi to use his quirk? That was dangerous. He could hurt Izuku. Please. Just for tonight. Izuku asked, his face tightening. Hitoshi nodded. He would do anything to save Izuku. Are you tired? Hitoshi asked, rubbing Izuku's hands with his thumb. Izuku releases a breath. Yes. He answered, allowing Hitoshi to open a link. His quirk was still weak from this use, but he pushed past the building headache to save Izuku. Sleep. No dreams, just sleep. Wake up when you feel rested enough. Izuku's eyes drooped instantly as Hitoshi let go of the hold, severing it with a sharp scissors. It sent his vision white in a binding pain against his head as Izuku's dropped onto him, asleep. He blinked his eyes, biting his tongue, a headache that just won't go away. His vision finally cleared, allowing him to see Eraserhead staring at him from across the room. He held a bowl of popcorn in one hand and the remote in the other. He set both on the table as he smiled at Hitoshi kindly. That was it. Hitoshi was going to get arrested for being a villain. Having a villain's quirk. He was so stupid to think he could be a hero, save people. He couldn't even save Izuku from himself. He wasn't a hero. Instead of yelling, Eraserhead signed. I'm proud of you, Hitoshi. Thank you for being such a good friend and kid. You're a hero. Hitoshi stared at his hands, confusion filling his mind. This wasn't right. Where was the anger? When was the other shoe going to drop? Eraserhead simply smiled and walked out of the room, leaving Hitoshi to deal with his binding headache and the songs of the movie. He slowly leaned against Izuku, letting himself drift off, away from the headache and confusion that plagued his mind. What will become of my dear friend? Sally's voice sang as he drifted off to sleep. For 2 days, Izuku slept. He didn't twitch or try to scratch like he had before. He simply slept, his chest moving slowly as he rested. If Shouta hadn't told him about Hitoshi's quirk proudly, then Hizashi would have taken him to a doctor. 2 days they had spent together, never leaving the house, as they all healed slowly. Both he and Shouta had called off patrols, leaving it to the sidekicks to pick up. 2 days they had checked on the young boy who slept peacefully, his eye bags slowly fading and his color seeming to return as he slept. For 2 days he didn't eat or drink as he slept. Hizashi was about to call Chiro for an IV when Izuku came stumbling out of the room, rubbing his eyes. Hitoshi leapt up from where he was doing his math homework, hugging the boy tightly. Izuku leaned into it this time, not even stiffening at the sudden movement. "Thank you," he signed when he had finally let go of each other. He looked so much better to Hizashi, his face finally full of life once more, though his eyes remained glassy. "Would you like some pancakes and egg, Izuku?" Hizashi asked, signing as he spoke. He hadn't put on his hearing aids that morning, not feeling a need to. He pulled a plate from the cupboard, taking it to the dining room. Izuku nodded, licking his lips as he watched Shouta plate him some when Hizashi handed him the plate. "Nice to see you, kid," Shouta said, signing as well, pushing the full plate in front of him. "I hoped you slept well." Izuku nodded, grabbing the fork and cutting into the pancake, taking a bite. He practically melted at the flavors, eating each bite slowly until he had nothing left on his plate. Hizashi beamed at Shouta proud. The kid had never eaten even half of his plates, so this was amazing news. As everyone finished eating, Hizashi clapped his hands. "I have an idea," he called, getting confused looks from his table mates. "Let's go to the mall." Shouta looked at him exasperated. Hitoshi simply looked confused, and Izuku looked nervous. Shouta sighed, grabbing another bag of clothes from his roommate's hand. They had already bought lots of clothes for Hitoshi and Izuku, who clung to each other tightly as Hizashi helped up item after item. This time, he held up a long black sleeved shirt, smiling widely. Hitoshi looked at it in disgust as he messed with his pants. Izuku touched the fabric slowly and methodically, feeling it against his skin. He shook his head, shaking his hands as if he got the feeling off. "Bad feel," he signed, grabbing Hitoshi's hand again. His sign was modified to account for his missing 2 fingers, but he was good about changing what he needed to, fingerspelling when he could think of how to edit the sign. It was impressive that he picked it up so fast, and Shouta could always see the frown that crossed his face as he failed to sign without his fingers. His gaze always got in focus as he stared at the missing fingers, remembering something. They still hadn't figured out what happened to the kid when he was taken on the beach, but Shouta was in no hurry to have him relive that experience. Judging by the scars, he had received only a week with the villain, but it wouldn't be a pretty story. His phone buzzed in his pocket as Tsukauchi texted him again and asked about when he could talk to the boy. Shouta understood he had cases to deal with, and had done, but he wouldn't let him push the kid into breaking even more. The case could wait. "Can we go to a hero store?" Hitoshi signed, making Hizashi laugh. The kid was trying to cheer up his friend, and he knew that the heroes made him happy. "Of course, kid," Shouta said, fighting the instincts to rub the kid's head. He tried to hide the flinches at the contact, but Shouta knew them. He had done them for years after Orbital's passing. He knew the pain it left on your skin and heart. They scanned the hero store's racks, marveling at the sheer amount of heroes that were featured here. "Hitoshi, look!" Izuku signed, holding up a pair of fake goggles. Goggles that looked exactly like his. Hitoshi grabbed the goggles and put them on instantly, grinning ear to ear. He took them off and handed them to Shouta before running down another aisle. Hizashi tailing the kids. He had all the bags, so he had the fun job of sitting down. It was a great job. He flipped the goggles over, peering at the card. He didn't approve of any official hero merch himself, for the sakes of staying underground, so the idea of a store housing a replica of his goggles made him pencil skull. The tag read. He groaned, rubbing at his eyes. Rip off hero merch to get around copyright restrictions. He would have been pissed at the store if it didn't make Hitoshi so clearly happy. Hitoshi laughed, the airy noise, much more gleeful than the fake laughs he had done when Izuku was gone. They relied on each other to survive, like a pair of bonded kittens. It was adorable, if not concerning. But as Izuku whipped ice cream from Hitoshi's face later in the days, chiding him for wasting it, Shouta couldn't help but feel happy as the kids laughed together. Hizashi draped his arm over Shouta as they watched the boys giggle. He leaned into his body out of pure relaxation, shutting his eyes as he listened to Hisashi's calm heart. He froze as Hisashi's lips pressed against his forehead gently. He could feel his face get hot as he sat up and stared at his roommate. He had thought that he hadn't liked him like that. Shouta smiled, pressing his lips up against Hisashi's, who returned it. You are dating! Hitoshi screamed, startling both of them. He had finally spoken, and of course, it had to be about them. That was actually so cute. Aww. That was such a cute. Aww. Kitty Cat, I'm so sorry. You're so cute. Aww. What hell are you gonna put us in the next chapter? Actually, what hell are you gonna put us in the next fucking chapter? Be so fucking for real. Be real. Right now. Anyways, I gotta message you about this. I always message you about bullshit, but this time I'm gonna message you about nice shit. You know? Gotta let you know that you're doing something right. Keep it going on. We love this. At Lemon just read chapter 31. Wow, you can write Fluff. You just choose not to. Wow. And gift clap. No, I don't like that one. Never mind. No, not that clapped one. No, not that one. A better clap one. Clap. Let me try to see. There's this one. Yeah, this one's a good one. I think this is from like a fire department. Chicago fire department. So that had to be from like what Chicago Fire it says in the side. So yeah. Anyways, I think this is a really cute episode. I'm glad that Aizawa was also thinking about the fact that, you know, hey, yeah, it's a little concerning how codependent they are. I love how I made the thumbnail before I knew what it was about. So the thumbnail is such a... I didn't know that it was gonna... I didn't know, guys. If I would have known, the thumbnail would have been a lot more angstier to prepare you guys for the shit hell that is this fanfiction. Not that this fanfiction is bad. I love this fanfiction. It just makes me cry. So, I'm trying to see... Sorry, I have Shakira stuck in my mind. But, next chapter is called Don't Put Me to Rest. Summary, Tsukauchi asks Izuku questions. You fucking fuckhead. Notes, so it's a little angsty, not awful though. I don't trust you. I already have the next few chapters written, and they are fluff-filled. So no, I did not use up all my fluff, despite the accusations against me. Sure you didn't. Sure you fucking didn't. Oh, Lemon replied, give me a minute, cursing you out. in outro /FJ. I love this. I love when I'm in contact with the writers. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. I absolutely love being able to talk with the writers. It fills me with joy. It fills me with light. I love having a like an actual friendship or with like the writers, you know, or having just like an acquaintanceship. Yeah. With the writers, it's always so nice being able to talk to them. It's nice to know that they also know that I'm not only they all know that I'm doing this, but like that they like no, like they're like listening, or like they know that I do these outros, or like they see my reactions. I specifically like them seeing my reactions. Maybe not the actual podfic itself, but I do love when they see my reactions. It fills my life with joy. It fills my life with so much heart, so much happiness, you know? Anyways, I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.